I'm here with Alexis Lloyd, director, and I'm not sure if writer is the correct word, but I guess would be my first question because I'm watching this going, oh, okay, this is a documentary, and then I'm watching it, wait, I recognize that guy from Newsroom. Wait, I recognize that person from Daniel Isn't Real. So it took a while for me to figure out that this is a movie, not a documentary, but it's got that same feel. And then I read on that these are just actors and they have general ideas of what their characters are, but they're kind of writing this along as the movie's going along. Is that
Not
correct?
quite, but not far. So they're not writing it along because there was 3, 4 months of preparation in terms of narrative. So yes, first of all, they're all real people, but they're really actors. One of them is not professionally an actor, and he's the psychotherapist. He's a psychoanalyst and a group leader who has been doing it for 40 years. And I wanted to have a real pro doing this as opposed to an actor playing a pro, because that's the one part that really cannot be, in a way, you need training for this. It's like being a professional musician. If you want to play free jazz, it's going to be really horrible if you only have done 3 months or 6 months of playing the trumpet. You really need a lot of technique, a lot of craft, a lot of talent, intelligence in order to do what what Dr. Zeisel does, which is improvise in his own way. It doesn't mean that, he is part of a work of fiction, but it's a work of fiction that I wanted to be as close to a form of, using the form of documentaries. In a former life, I was involved with a film called The Blair Witch Project. So we are in tone, a very different kind of animal than the Blair Witch Project. But the fact of, using the camera in a way that is not dissimilar to a documentary, cameraman, director of photography, Luc Geisbüller, did a lot of documentaries. He also worked on a film that was a major success called Borat, that played with the style of documentary, where you don't actually know who is an actor and who's not an actor in Borat. In the same way, when, a number of films from the 70s actually played more with this form of using, the French call it cinéma vérité, combining non-professional actors with professional actors. And it doesn't mean that the non-professional actor doesn't become an actor. And it doesn't mean that the professional actors don't have real thoughts, real feelings when they are in the situation that we've created. So we created a situation that is narratively set as a structure where narrative beats, but what they have improvised are the dialogue. And I wanted to, let them free to choose their words, to choose when they want to say it. Some lines of narratives came up, but mostly the lines of narrative was set ahead of the film.
This kind of improvisation's got to be just an actor's dream, especially for the actors in this. Is like, oh, we have to play so much. It feels like just a sandbox for them.
For some actors, it's a nightmare. Some actors really want to have lines. They need to have the lines in order to relax in a way into thinking, I'm going to incorporate myself into, I'm going to incarnate a role, but I need the lines to help me. When I cast this film, and we cast it in a particular way, I first met the actors one-to-one, but then we brought them together with Dr. Zeisel in his actual group therapy room, and we did sort of practice tests with these actors. And I found that also it is the actors I'm drawn to in New York. Theater actors were those who were more comfortable with, say, okay, we're going to be on stage for 90 minutes or 2 hours. It's okay. Of course, it's different than, acting in a play where the dialogue, the lines are very set. The type of film that I'm interested in, which is really to push the boundaries of acting and of filmmaking by using improvisation, requires actors to fully incarnate their role, to be very real about their real thoughts, their real emotions, but to come with their words and come with the timing and see what bounces between the different characters.
Yeah. One of the things I find especially interesting about this is because usually with improv, you think comedy. Like people just get together and there's certainly some, some humor within this, but there's a lot of parts where people are just cutting deep at each other. And that's not that kind of dramatic kind of setup isn't usually something you see in improv. And I think it works great in this.
I think it's wonderful you mentioned this because the tradition of improv is as old as theater. And some periods in history have been more open to it. In the Italian Renaissance, they had the Commedia dell'arte. Some was comedy, but some was more drama. And once again, the films in the 70s who explored more improvisation, they really are open to exploring other tones, other depth. Frankly, a lot of moments, special moments in our film, emotionally come from, these moments where the actors are touching something that is real for them as an emotion, even if they created a character. And that reality goes deep. And when there are a group of them doing the same thing, it potentializes the process. Also, a number of filmmakers I've worked with in the past, I discovered on sets, such as, of course, Mike Leigh in England, but even Tim Burton does a lot of improvisation with his actors. And I was involved with a film called Sleepy Hollow. And I was really stunned to see how, of course, it's very written, but there is always for the actors a chance to go looser with the dialogue and basically do the same scene in their own words. So lots of directors actually use improvisation without saying so. I wanted this to be, in a way, more directly, entirely the method of this particular film.
Yeah. Looking at the IMDb, there looks to be a thing called Group. Was that kind of a test run of sorts on this, or what was that?
Yes, it's really test run is the right way to do it. Because I didn't want to write the dialogue, I knew from the start I wanted the dialogue to be really spontaneously coming from whatever exchange, conversation there was between the characters in the moment. I didn't solidify the script in a way that could be presented to producers and financiers as a 95-page document, a typical script. I have a format, I have a form of that script, but it's not what I wanted to do. I did want to shoot in that particular way. So I went for a first round of, testing the concept in Hollywood, and a friend of mine told me, listen, you have to shoot a proof of concept. Show what you mean. Show the kind of tone you're using. And that was 2019. So we did just this. And actually, most of the actors who are in the film today were already in this first iteration, what you call the test run, with Dr. Zeisel, myself. There's really one actor who's a different actor who plays my part, the part of Alexei in the film. But apart from this one actor, Tom Sadowski, all the others were part of our proof of concept. And what happened is that, COVID and confinement happened. And my girlfriend told me, well, what are you going to do with your proof of concept? You should put it up on YouTube. You segment it in smaller sections, don't put an hour and a half or an hour what you have. Edit it in a way that people can see it, because you couldn't take pitching meetings in LA. That's what we did, and we're getting close. And then it was picked up by All Arts, which is the streaming platform of PBS in New York, and we're close to 700,000 views now. So it was quite encouraging. I thought, okay, let's make an indie feature based on the same method.
Yeah. And you said that can be found on YouTube?
The web series is both on YouTube and All Arts. Yes, the PBS New York channel.
Yeah, because I was thinking someone that hasn't seen this, that it seems like it would be a good primer for this. And in my case, who already saw this, I want to see more. So I'll probably go.
You're welcome. Narratively, in a way, the feature, though everybody's a little older, but the feature is narratively a precursor to in the film, we tell the story of a filmmaker who wants to make a series. So the web series is actually more directly the adaptation from the first chapters of the book of the Schopenhauer Cure. So you'll see something closer to the narrative of the book in the web series of 5 years ago than this one.
Yeah, I guess it's got a meta context to it for sure. But so group, the Schopenhauer Effect comes out on March 3rd. Well, it already had a premiere, and then it's playing again on March 13th at the Quad Cinema.
At the Quad Cinema in New York, it's a 1-week run. Yes.
Yeah. And then what kind of release plans do you have after that? Because I can think of a couple of people right now. I'm like, dude, you gotta check this out. You're gonna freaking love it.
Well, thank you. Let's see. You know, the name of the game in cinema release is what's the box office on the first weekend. So we'll see what's happening. I think we have a full house already on the first day, so that's nice. But of course, we'll see. At some point, we will stream it. But it's really nice to be able to roll it out in cinemas.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on the movie. And before I let you go, I just want to get a film recommendation from you. Either a movie that's personal to you or a movie that's like, that one's really good and not enough people talk about it.
So many I can think of. Let me see, a film of John Cassavetes called Opening Night. It's a fantastic film. And it has elements of tragedy, elements of comedy, elements of actors improvising in that way. In general, the film of John Cassavetes is a fantastic inspiration, but I think this one in particular.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining me. Congratulations on the movie. Now I gotta bounce and go watch those YouTube videos. But
thank you. See you on YouTube.
all right.